Are your arms small no matter how strong you get on them or how much you train them? Today I'm going to show you 5 things that maybe hold you back from growing big arms. First thing I think most people are doing wrong is they're putting too much emphasis on curl, curl, curl. They're just putting more emphasis on growing their biceps than their triceps. Everybody considers, oh, your arms are your biceps, but triceps make up 2/3 of your arm. Meaning, you got your short head, your medial head, your long head. That's how they call it tricep. You got 3 different heads in your tricep. Your bicep only has 2. So that's not to say you should be doing your triceps more. That's just saying you should be doing as much biceps as you are triceps. Now, if your biceps are a weak point and your triceps are bigger, yeah, work your biceps more. But I don't think that's a problem for 99% of the people I see in the gym. So first thing up is spend as much time as you're on biceps as you do on triceps. So if you're doing 12 sets of biceps, you should be doing 12 sets of triceps. Next thing up, you're not working the biceps and triceps in a fully lengthened position, meaning you're probably putting too much weight on, just concerned with I need to do heavy weight, and you're here. You're not really letting that bicep fully lengthen. Well, to get any muscle to grow, I don't care if it's arms, legs, chest, whatever it is, it needs to be worked from a fully stretched or lengthened position. So if I'm doing this bicep curl on the table, I'm gonna actively even flex my triceps at the bottom to fully lengthen that bicep, and then curl it up. Every rep, I'm fully lengthening, curl it up. So you may have to swallow your pride here and cut the weight back, but ultimately it's going to get your arms to grow more because you're working more muscle fibers from fully stretched position. And on the triceps, it's going to look like this. People are the same thing. They're putting too much weight. They're not really lengthening that triceps. Any tricep movement I do, I'm really trying to come up there and stretch that tricep out, fully extend. Stretch, 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 extend. So I'm letting that tricep stretch out without moving my elbow. So in other words, I'm not doing this to let it stretch out. My hands come up as high as I can, really stretch that tricep, flex it. So again, biceps and triceps, you want to work from that fully lengthened position to make sure you recruit the most muscle fiber possible to grow. Next thing I think you're doing wrong, you're doing too much jump volume. So when I was younger, I used to spend 2 hours training arms because it was fun. You know, you get a pump, your arms feel huge. You're in the gym for 2 hours training arms, which if you think about it, doesn't really make a lot of sense because it's one of the smallest muscle groups you're going to train every week. You got your quads, your glutes, chest, back. All those are much bigger muscle groups that if you're going to train anything 2 hours, it'll be those muscle groups, not your arms, which are just smaller muscle groups and don't need 64 sets apiece. So if this is you and you're just chasing junk volume, my advice here would be just like any body part. You want to progressively overload your arms. So instead of just picking a number, say I'm going to 15 and then stopping at 15, when you get a pump or when your muscles are still working, pick a rep range. Sorry, on this bicep curl, I want to try to do 10 to 15. Pick a challenging weight, keep your form good, and if you fail at 12, the next week you need to try to do 13 or 14 with that weight before the next couple weeks you go up in weight or you change something else. So instead of just chasing junk volume, progressively overload your arms. Before we move on, if you're having trouble growing other body parts, subscribe to my channel. I have tons of videos on there on how to grow chest, back, legs, everything's on my channel. The next thing hurting a lot of guys, especially today with social media, is constantly changing exercises. So this was not so much a problem when I was younger because we didn't have a lot of social media telling us you need to do this, this, and this to grow big arms or whatever it was. We had magazines of the top bodybuilders that show, some of the core movements you got to do and just focus on those. But the hard thing now with social media is you're going to see 60 guys in a span of 8 hours whose arms you want to have, and they're all going to have conflicting things of exercises you should be doing. Well, what I found works best is instead of just every week changing exercises because you saw it on social media or whatever, I want to try this, I want to try that. Find the 4 movements for biceps or so. Find 4 bicep movements, 4 tricep movements that you connect well with and feel and think you're actually getting something out of, and just try to perfect those movements and progressively overload those. Don't be constantly chasing the perfect plan that somebody's trying to sell you online. Find what works for you, progressively overload those movements. Last up, one of the biggest problems is you're getting stronger on a movement, but the target muscle group isn't actually the thing that's getting stronger. So I'm gonna show you what I mean by that. This can kind of get chalked up to bad form, but on a barbell curl, let's say somebody is going, I want to progressively overload, which is the right, mind frame to have. I want to progressively overload a barbell bicep curl, but let's say this is their form, and they're here just kind of swinging around. Well, yeah, you're getting stronger on it, but your whole body is getting stronger, not your biceps. So your biceps aren't really taking a brunt of the work to get bigger. Your whole body is. So you're getting quote unquote stronger and you're becoming a better quote unquote weightlifter, but you're not really building your biceps. What you really want to do, and this is true whether you're doing push downs for triceps, skull crushers for triceps, hammer curls, whatever it may be, still pick heavy weight, but make sure biceps are getting all the work. So everything's locked in place. I know this doesn't look flashy like Arnold and all those guys doing their videos, but times change. Everybody likes to say, well, this is what Jay Cutler did. If Jay Cutler and Arnold and all them knew the stuff we know now with form and stuff like that, I guarantee you they'd be doing a lot of stuff we are now and probably had a little bit better physiques. Believe it or not, they had great physiques. They'd probably be even better if they knew some of the stuff we know now. So get stronger on your lifts with the target muscle group, but not your whole body. All right, guys, that's it. I promise you, if you follow those simple tips on how to grow your arms, they're gonna go from 16 inches, 15 inches to almost 20. Mine are probably pushing 20 now. They don't look like it, but they're a lean 20. I don't care if somebody says they have 21-inch arms. If they're fat arms, doesn't count in my book. So follow those rules, and I promise you, you're gonna grow bigger arms 4, 5, 6 weeks. If you like the video, guys, you wanna see more, subscribe to the channel. As always, stay swole.